Moving on with mounts, I cut the ends off of these motor mounts. I decided to weld them on the frame. I've got a hole in the bottom there. I cut through the middle, so that kind of goes around this edge. And what I did was put a plate on the motor, clamp it down flat, and then I'm gonna clamp the motor mount itself through the mounting bolt hole and make it parallel. This motor is in almost exactly where it's got to go. It might be off an 1/8 of an inch, but then once I get these motor mounts welded in, then I'll make this plate here. I'll make a special bracket that'll go down and bolt into the motor mount. So let me get that motor mount on and I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright, I got that tacked in, and these clamps hopefully got that bolt parallel with my bolt holes in the motor, and I'll just have to weld it all the way around now. But it's on plenty good and solid. I got it welded in 3 places, so now I can take my plate out of here, give myself a little room to weld. And now I can weld this up. I really glarped it on over there, and I still haven't done the top one, but this is part of that plate's that 2-inch square tubing. That's one of the reasons when I boxed it over here I got a crooked weld, because I kept burning holes in it trying to patch a hole. But now I just kind of weld it up, and I'll bring you back when I got most of that done. Now I welded this one up all the way around, and finished the back of that one. I did clean up a weld that was here and plugged a bunch of holes in the frame. But motor mounts are in and they're plenty solid. I should probably weld them on the bottom too, but they're not going anywhere. They're welded into the bottom of the original frame and onto that side plate across the top. All the pressure is going to be going down on them anyway. There might be a little twisting involved. Well, probably quite a bit. But now all I have to do is cut me out some paper brackets, and just take I'll probably make them out of 1/8 inch plate or something. Have one in the back and 2 in the front, so that should be plenty strong. I don't know what I got out here in the way of steel. I still got a lot of this 2-inch wide 1/8 inch plate, and of course I got that big 1/2 inch piece, 3/8. Same as this one here that's hold the motor up. I don't think I need anything that overkill. I think 1/4 inch plate will be fine. But so now I can still adjust my motor up and down by what kind of brackets I make here. Well, they just don't look parallel to me, but I know I welded it in there with a plate. Don't think anything moved. Might be just the angle. Yeah, it looks pretty good from here. I guess that would be the next thing, is to cut me out a couple brackets and weld them in. I made me a cardboard template here that fits into my motor, goes down, goes over the bolt, and I would have made it out of 1/4 inch steel. Didn't have any, but I got this roughly 1/8 inch old rusty piece that my buddy gave me, and so I'm gonna make 2 of these, and I'm gonna cut them out with a plasma cutter. Hopefully I can get it pretty smooth. The square part is the only thing that needs to be accurate. And clean them up, and then I'll weld 2 of them together, and that gives me almost 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch plate would be good there. And just weld 2 of these together for the front mount. And the back one, it's not it's only got 1 mounting boss on the block. It's got to be bent too, so I'll probably make it out of, I don't know, something else. I got enough steel around here, probably one of these bars. You know, they are 1/4 inch thick. And then I'll box them on the top. That should be good enough. Let's see if I can get them cut out. I just clamped these all together. Took my flapper disc to them. They're all roughly the same size. The most important part, of course, is just this here where it goes up into the motor. And I think what I'm going to do is take them apart, and I'm just going to tack weld these about every 1/2 inch or so all the way around. That should be good enough. Can't grind my weld off because that'll knock all the strength out of it. They're just going to be butt welded. But that should, you know, I don't know how thick that is. It's 360 thousandths, 1/3 of an inch, 6 gauge. That's half of it, 140 thousandths. I think that'll be good enough for a motor mount. It should be really only twisting, and I've got a couple inches of it there to twist. There's my two plates in. Yeah, they look pretty good from the front. I need to adjust that left one around and get it a little more center. But basically it looks good. And I've got enough clearance there to put my steering through on the right, but they look really flimsy here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a one-inch square piece. I'll make that back plate, and I'm gonna weld something in here. You know, this 2-inch piece would be ideal, since I don't have any more of it. Something like that in there. Still not really very good. I'll have to figure out something to make that back plate. Figure out some way. I guess I could just box the whole thing with another flat piece across the top. That would make it look better. How much more strength it would give it. Give it some, but you gotta do something. That got one little skinny plate there, even if it was 1/4 inch thick. Wouldn't really be enough. I can't box it really on the bottom because the motor mount is wider than the gap that I made. Don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'll have to think about it. But took a lot of work to cut all these 4 pieces out, mostly because it was just dirty metal. If it would have been clean, it would have been much easier. And then sand them all down and cut them and weld them together. So my plates are not done yet. At least I got a good pattern to make the rest with. So we'll just press on. Maybe I can get them finished tomorrow. Well, I cut me another plate. It was a 2-inch wide one, so I had to put a little piece on it and welded it up. This is over 1/4 inch. That's plenty strong now. I didn't try to make it real pretty. Basically, it's going to be bolted here, 2 bolts up here. So I'll probably do a little better job on the next one. I left these kind of I didn't weld the edges here because this is going to go up into the motor, and I want to make sure I don't have a bunch of weld there that's keeping it from mounting where it's supposed to. So now I'll try to put it up in the motor and see if I can mark the holes, try to drill the holes. I've got a drill press, it's not very good, but I'll try to get some holes in this thing. Well, I try to get a bolt in that mount. It's got a bunch of rubber inside it. I can't really get it out. It's a 3/4 inch thing. So I want to make me a couple of bushings that'll fit this. Got an old piece of all thread here. I'm just chopping it down so I can make me bushings, and then I'll drill a hole for the bolt. The fronts are bigger than the back, so I'll make the two front ones first. I'll make them about 3/4 of an inch long. So that should center my motor mount in the center my bolt in the middle of the motor mount. Thank God for lathe. This all thread's pretty soft, so it's custom along pretty good. I got that other piece welded on that brace, much stronger than it was. Got my spacers in and the bolt tightened up in the bottom, and I've got it clamped there. Now I've got these center finder punches. Now they have a little, you can see it's got a little point on the end, and I've got it clamped solid. So now I can put this in here, whack that with a hammer, and that'll center punch it. I can punch both of those top holes, and then take it out, drill me a couple more bolt holes in it, and I should be good to go there. So this is a 1/2 inch bolt down in the bottom. These will be smaller. I don't know what they'll be. 3/8 or something. But anyway, I'll drill the holes the same size as the block. I don't think that's all the way to 1/2 inch because that's not my biggest punch. So let's punch that thing and see if we can get a hole drilled. Well, there's motor mounts done. That passenger side, I did it first, and I threw some paint on it. And this one here, I just put some primer on. Paint takes too long to dry. I didn't want to fingerprint it. Plus, it shows up good. But there's the motor in. It's perfectly level. It's just a little off front to back. I have to lower the back end down, but I got it 4 inches above the frame now, so there's quite a bit of tweaking to do. I could probably drill another hole for that bottom bolt, maybe 1 inch lower. But if you look at that block under there, that's a 7-inch block, and it's just barely gonna fit under that pan. So that's the one thing I was trying to get away from, was having that pan so low that it was going to hit something. But it's exactly in exactly centered, and side to side's good. And then my buddy came over and saw the welding I did. He says, "Yeah, I got some 1/4 inch." So now I got a big old piece of 1/4 inch. So I'll make my back bracket out of it. It's going to be much easier. It's only going to have 2 bolts in it, not 3. And I'll make it, and I may put a plate across the top of it. I don't know. Maybe I won't. It's all good, and I'll get a long bolt here for this top one that'll go all the way through, and it'll save me using 2 little short bolts, and it'll put, well, I don't know, maybe I ought to just use short ones. I don't know about putting compression on that ears on the block. Maybe I'll just leave it alone and put another short one in it. That's probably the best, because the motor was originally designed with 3 bolts, so I could real easily break off that tab. And so I'll make me another mount out of that. I think my plasma cutter will probably cut that stuff. It'll be a lot easier cutting it than it would be welding 3 together. But looks good, symmetrical. So this going from motor mounts that didn't work at all to something that's good and solid is kind of a done deal. Haven't finished them up, but that'll be part of another video. It won't be too bad, too long. And this is a couple days work here. Of course, a lot of it, like I said, was welding all in place together. If I'd had 1/4 inch steel, it would just been, I would have been done a long time ago, but it didn't. So tomorrow I think I'm going to go get me a transmission, and that's about an hour and a half away, so maybe we'll get a little video of that, get that transmission back here, see what I can do about mounting it. I'm hoping that the tailpiece will go under there, mount on top. That bracket there is, I don't know, it's only about 5 inches off the ground, and this car is still going to have to go up or go down some more. But the suspension looks pretty good. It's bouncing up and down about 1 inch. No shock on that side. So we're moving along, like Rat Rod Bob says. We're getting there. We just ain't got it yet. Appreciate you.